And this time it is not a drill. The United States is now stepping up its response to North Korea. That country's military says it's being given the green light to launch an attack. The country would supposedly use nuclear weapons described as smaller, lighter, and diversified.
Last night, the Pentagon announced it was sending a missile defense shield to Guam to protect the interests in the Pacific. Now, that is roughly 2,100 miles away from Pyongyang. Holly Williams is tracking the developments in London. Holly, good morning.
Good morning, Charlie and Nora. The South Korean Defence Minister said today that North Korea has moved a missile with considerable range to the country's east coast. But he also said that there are no other concrete signs that the North is preparing for conflict. We can't know if North Korea's young leader, Kim Jong-un, is really ready to risk war with the United States. But Defence Secretary Chuck Hagel says the North's provocations have to be taken seriously.
As they have ratcheted up their bellicose, dangerous rhetoric and some of the actions they've taken over the last few weeks present a real and clear danger and threat to the interests, certainly, of our allies.
North Korea repeated its warning yesterday that it could launch nuclear strikes on the US. In reality, there's no evidence that the North is capable of doing that. But for days, the country has been playing a game of brinkmanship, announcing it will restart a nuclear reactor to produce weapons-grade plutonium and severing its military hotline with South Korea. And now the North has closed the border crossing that connects South Korea with the Kaesong Industrial Zone. Factories there employ 50,000 North Korean workers and are a rare example of cooperation between the two countries that are technically still at war. Annual military exercises held by the US and South Korea were the spark for North Korea's threats. The North always protests, but this year tensions have reached new levels. Even with its small nuclear capability, it would be suicidal for North Korea to start a war with the South and its ally, the US. But because all direct communication between the two sides has now been cut, the fear is that a mistake or a miscalculation could lead to armed conflict. Charlie, Nora.
It's a good point. Holly Williams, thank you.